The housing market is a tricky thing to predict. While some people argue that it is impossible to know what will happen, there are many factors to consider when forecasting the market's future. Hello everyone, welcome to Wealthy Wisdom. If you're new to this channel, do like and subscribe to the channel. In this video, we will talk about Housing Market Predictions 2022. Should I buy a house now? We'll explore some of the housing market predictions 2022 and what factors you need to consider when making your decision. Whether you're ready to buy now or waiting to see what happens, we hope this information will be helpful. The current state of the housing market. The current state of the housing market is a buyer's market. There are more houses in the market than there are buyers, and prices have stabilized or dropped in many areas. This is good news for buyers who are looking to purchase a home. However, it is important to remember that a bachelor's degree does not guarantee employment, and many people are still struggling to find jobs. As a result, potential buyers should be cautious about purchasing a home that they may not be able to afford. The current state of the housing market may be a good time to buy for some people, but it is important to make sure that you are in a stable financial position before making such a large purchase. Housing Market Predictions 2022. It's no secret that the housing market has been on a roller coaster ride over the past few years. After reaching record highs in early 2018, home prices began to cool off, and by 2020, the market had entered into a buyer's market. However, there are signs that the market is beginning to rebound, and some experts are predicting that prices will start to rise again in 2022. According to Realtor.com, the median home price is expected to increase by 3.2% in 2022, which would be the first time prices have risen since 2019. In addition, the number of homes for sale is also expected to increase, giving buyers more options to choose from. As a result, if you're thinking of buying a home in 2022, it's important to start doing your research now, so you can be prepared for these changes. Will house values keep on rising? This is a difficult question to answer, as it depends on a number of factors. For example, if there is another economic downturn, this could lead to a decrease in home values. However, if the economy continues to improve as many experts are predicting, then home values are likely to continue rising. Whatever happens, it's important to remember that your house is more than just an investment. It's also a place to live, and you should only buy a house that you can afford regardless of what the market is doing. Housing Inventory Predictions for 2022. The inventory of housing units for sale in the U.S. is currently at an all-time low, and the trend is expected to continue into 2022. According to the National Associations of Realtors, or NAR, there was a 10% year-over-year decrease in housing inventory in 2020, and the NAR's chief economist expects that this shortage will persist for the next 2 years. The lack of available homes for sale is driving up prices and making it difficult for buyers to find affordable properties. In some markets, bidding wars are common, and properties are selling above asking price. The tight housing market is expected to lead to a slowdown in home sales in 2021 and beyond. Nevertheless, the long-term outlook for the housing market remains positive, as demographics and job growth will continue to support demand for residential property. Will there be a high number of foreclosures in 2022? The number of foreclosure filings has been on the rise since 2017, and many experts believe that the trend will continue in 2022. There are several reasons for this prediction. First, the number of adjustable rate mortgages is expected to increase in the next few years. These loans typically have low introductory rates that reset after a few years, and many homeowners are unable to make the higher payments. Second, home prices are still rising faster than wages, making it difficult for families to keep up with their mortgage payments. Finally, interest rates are expected to rise in the next few years, further increasing the monthly payments for families with adjustable rate mortgages. While it is impossible to predict the exact number of foreclosures that will occur in 2022, it is clear that there will be a significant increase from previous years. The long-term prospects for housing market. The long-term prospects for the housing market look bright. Despite recent setbacks, the market is expected to rebound in the coming years. Population growth and increased demand for housing will lead to higher prices and more construction. In addition, the number of first-time home buyers is expected to increase as more young people enter the workforce and begin to accumulate savings. This combination of factors will create a strong market for housing and provide ample opportunities for investors. While there may be some short-term fluctuations, the long-term trend is clearly upward, making now a great time to invest in the housing market. How to take advantage of current market conditions. There's no doubt that the current market conditions are challenging, but there are still opportunities for businesses and investors to take advantage of the situation. One way to do this is to focus on niches that are less affected by the overall economic conditions. For example, luxury goods or services may not be as popular in a recession, but there are still people who are willing and able to pay for them. Another strategy is to look for companies that are undervalued by the market. This can be a great opportunity to buy shares at a discount. Finally, it's important to keep an eye on costs. In a competitive market, businesses need to be lean and efficient in order to survive. By carefully managing expenses, businesses can weather the storm and come out stronger on the other side. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Is it the best time to buy a house? Housing market predictions 2022 vary based on the current market conditions. Many experts agree that now is a good time to buy a house since mortgage rates are predicted to rise in the next few years. However, it's important to consult with a real estate agent to get a better idea of what type of property is a good investment in your area. It's also wise to be aware of the potential risks associated with any type of real estate purchase, such as unforeseen repairs or a decrease in value if the housing market cools off sooner than predicted. By taking advantage of current market conditions and doing your research, you can help ensure that your real estate purchase is a wise investment. How to prepare for buying a house with the Housing Market Predictions 2022. If you're thinking of buying a house in the next few years, it's important to start preparing now. Begin by saving for a down payment and closing costs, so you'll have less debt when you enter into a mortgage. You should also check your credit score and work to improve it if necessary. Next, start researching different neighborhoods and properties that fit your budget. Pay attention to market trends so you can be prepared to make an offer when you find the right property. Finally, consult with a real estate agent to get expert advice on the current market conditions and what type of property is a good investment in your area. By following these tips, you'll be in a better position to take advantage of Housing Market Predictions 2022 and make a wise investment in the real estate market. What are the risks of buying a house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022? As with any real estate purchase, there are a few potential risks to be aware of when buying a house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022. One risk is that the value of the property may decrease if the market cools off sooner than expected. Another risk is that you may end up owing more on the mortgage than the house is worth if you need to sell it quickly. It's also important to be aware of the potential for repairs and maintenance costs when purchasing a home. Make sure you factor these costs into your budget and be prepared for the possibility that you may need to make some repairs or updates after you move in. By being aware of the potential risks involved in buying a house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022, you can help ensure that your purchase is a wise investment. How to prepare for selling a house with the Housing Market Predictions 2022. If you're thinking of selling your house in the next few years, it's important to start preparing now. Begin by decluttering and doing any necessary repairs or updates to the property. This will help make it more appealing to potential buyers. Next, research the current market conditions in your area so you can price your home competitively. You should also consult with a real estate agent to get expert advice on the best way to market and sell your property. Finally, make sure you're prepared for the cost of selling a house, such as real estate commissions and closing costs. By following these tips, you'll be in a better position to take advantage of Housing Market Predictions 2022 and sell your house for a good price. What are the risks of selling a house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022? As with any real estate transaction, there are a few potential risks to be aware of when selling a house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022. One risk is that you may not be able to sell your house for as much as you hope if the market cools off sooner than expected. Another risk is that you may end up having to pay real estate commissions and closing costs, even if your house doesn't sell. It's also important to be aware of the potential for a longer time frame to sell your house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022. Make sure you factor this into your plans and be prepared for the possibility that your house may not sell as quickly as you'd like. By being aware of the potential risks involved in selling a house during the Housing Market Predictions 2022, you can help ensure that you're prepared for the challenges that may arise. The housing market predictions for 2022 are generally positive, which means now is a good time to buy a house. However, it's important to be aware of the potential risks involved in any real estate transaction. Make sure you research the current market conditions in your area and consult with a real estate agent to get expert advice. By being prepared for the challenges that may arise, you can help ensure that your purchase is a wise investment. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned something from this video. If you like this video, do give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. Thank you and goodbye.